everybody, Monolith Brook Shadow back again. So today we're going to be talking about your auxiliary and what it means for you and what it does for you. So before we get into detail about what exactly it is, I'm going to explain to you how you get it. You will speak to Officer Coffee. Coffee will have it under client orders and it will be called auxiliary course. You follow the few steps throughout the course and you will get it. Now, what is an auxiliary? An auxiliary is actually like a little helper, and I mean that exactly how it sounds. It is a little helper. When I actually show you the auxiliary, which we will do here in a second, you will see that it is very small. Now, when you get your auxiliary, just like character creation, you can in fact edit every single bit and piece of it just like you're creating a new character. So that aspect of it is pretty neat, but that is definitely not its main focus. Now then, your auxiliary, mine here is Macchiato. So with Macchiato, what the auxiliary does for you is pretty simple. In this case, she actually failed 2 of the missions that I sent her on. You can get collection quests or gathering quests, not necessarily like the farming where you're mining, but to get so much of a certain monster's meat and so on and so forth, things that they drop, things of that nature. You can actually send your auxiliary on these quests to get these items and level up. Upon returning, for the ones that they did do, it will show as completed. Now, you actually go get these quests from the cafe. She can be seen inside the shopping center, which I will show you, to the far left once you enter, right before you get to the stage. Or you can go directly to her cafe and pick up these quests. Based on how high of the level requirement will determine if you are going to fail or pass, well, your auxiliary anyway. This other young lady, Cressida, or anybody in general that can give you these, I call them fetch quests because that's essentially what they are, the auxiliary can be sent on to do. Now with your auxiliary, when you create this particular auxiliary, just like you create your own character, you create their class, you can set their subclass, and you can customize their equipment. You can swap out their weapon. If they're a summoner, you can swap out their egg, their back units, their arm units, you name it. Anything that you would normally swap out on yourself, you can put on your auxiliary to help improve their chances of actually completing the quest and returning to you with the rewards. Now, typically, the quests themselves, which I will show you here in a second, take about an hour each. So if you send them on multiple, typically it'll tell you about 3 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and send my Macchiato on a quest. This one says right here, number of order assists 1, max 3. So the maximum amount that I could even send her on is 3. Estimated time for completion 1 hour. Are you sure you want to send your auxiliary out to do these orders? Yes, send. Now the coolest thing about the auxiliary to me is that while they're actually out doing these quests, if you end up in the same area with them, they will actually be there. They'll speak to you, they'll interact with you, and they will ask for your help to complete said quest. It's pretty neat. Now let's go on to show you where some of these people are that you can get these quests from to send your auxiliary out to do. Okay, so when you load in, typically you're about right here. Normally I would go up here and I would just jump down, but because Sonic's big head itself is right there, I can't do that. So we're going to jump down right here. You can always take the stairs to the left or to the right. The young lady who runs the cafe can be seen right here when she loads in, Franca. She's right here. You can get fetch quests from her. You can also get fetch quests from this interesting lass right here, and you can go into the cafe and get them as well. Just check your client orders to see which quests you can actually pick up to do this, and send your auxiliary out on them. This helps you and the auxiliary level up, and it gives you the quest completion when she completes it as well. It's important to note that you both essentially get the experience. So this actually gives you a way to continue, I guess, grinding even when you're not on the game, so to speak. So when you could send your auxiliary out, log off, and when you come back, it's still time passing. Or at least that's been my experience. So this is a simple rundown, the most basic rundown that I could think to give about the auxiliary and what it means for you. What does it mean for you exactly for a too long didn't read version of this? You get easy experience and you have someone helping you out that's out there. In addition to that, there is one more thing that I would like to show you. While on your gateway ship, at your allied terminal, which will be covered in another video, in detail anyway, you can find your auxiliary under support. And under support, you can actually select your auxiliary to have it join you in battle. So that is something that's also neat. If you do not want to send your auxiliary out on a mission, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but you would rather have them come with you, then you can just drop them in addition to that, even if they are on a mission, they will still come with you. And again, you can see how small she is in comparison. This is the maximized height on an auxiliary, mind you. So keep that in consideration, or take that into consideration when you're making your auxiliary. The height that you see here is the maximum height, because I did not know that when I was creating this little person that the maximum height would be that small. I was expecting her to be a giant, taller than me. Well, anyway, guys, I hope this helped out in some kind of way. I always want to make sure that people understand that the way I teach and what I'm telling you about the game are just ways that I find easier for me to play and helpful guides for new players. If you have any advice or any tips or anything that you would like to give, you can definitely leave them in the comments. I take no slight at that. But have fun out there, Arcs, and I'll see you on the ships.